The grubbers were created to destroy men, but could not track them. Men did not linger. Should have been easy pickings, complained the grubbers as he dived behind the low garden wall. He looked over his companion, who grunted in agreement as a crossbow bolt narrowly missed him. Grab some grub, maybe a shiny or two, on the way to the muster. Good plan. Humans shouldn't have been work. Huddled behind the wall, unwilling to give up their potential swag, the first grubber said, "New plan. We flank 'em, come in from behind, and smash their heads." His companion replied, Sure. Good plan." With a nod, he indicated the unrushing mucker and continued, "But I don't think we need a plan no more." The muckers. Stupid, useless grubbers. Though the mucker, they had orders. No stopping, no raiding, nothing on the way to the muster. But the days of inaction had made him itch. He'd clobber the two idiots later. Sparing a low growl for the two grubbers, he leaped the wall and pounded toward the house. A bolt lodged in his shoulder, but without breaking stride, he pulled it out and flung it to the ground. In another instant, he was through the door. With a quick swing, he erased the look of horror on the male and turned to face the human with the crossbow. Pup held her ground. He'd give her that. Before she could reload, he'd snapped that weapon in two, sending her sprawling in a spray of blood and bone. Disappointed at seeing no other opposition, he grabbed the lamb shank from the table and walked out to the rest of the band swarmed in. This will not be your end. Whatever comes through those doors as you exit will be met and moved through. They will die, not you. This must be believed. You must overcome. There is no other way. Cyrddin sees freedom. Grateful as she is, she looks down this long corridor. And now she finally gets a glimpse of hope, and she wants to run in. But before anything, the heroes, or the new amazing group of heroes that have somehow found friendship in this prison dungeon, have warned her running through this corridors will be just a nightmarish hell, as they're sure there's something lurking in and about this corridors. Not fooled, Arthur warns the others. So now looking down here, there is nothing on this tile, on the first tile, except the heroes have to make their way to the next tile, and that's what's going to happen. So they're going to do their movement, and every hero will have their turn in a sense of what is going to happen in the upcoming events as they try to slowly make their way through this long corridor of up to 5 tiles. So let's see step one at a time, as the heroes themselves have gained much strength. But let's not forget, as we're going to talk at the end of Act 3, what exactly transpires after them not only bringing hope to Cyrddin, but more importantly to each other, and what will turn events become of them as the allies between Arthur, Amnok, Lance, and more importantly Lily and Trish, who have amazingly supported one another as they try to survive this prison dungeon. Finally to the next tile, the only issue here, and they managed to make sure that they've used up to 3 and 4 AP in the last turnabout. Now they got to this tile, and it's important not to forget that this tile has legends right here. So there's a hunting pack, there's a trap, and more importantly there's treasure. For the treasure, there's only 2 out of the 4 because they loitered early on in the story quest. The trap, there is no trap per the story quest. So there is a hunting pack, because as they came in here, a trap has been opened up right here, as you saw, and as that door layer opens up on the side, there springs 8 grubbers, and those 8 just spring out of nowhere to their surprise, and there's nothing that, as they rush through this trap corridor, there is nothing that the allies can do at this point, as this foes have caught them in much surprise. And as it's a surprise, I would say admittingly so, that they will have a little bit of a advantage over the heroes, who they've kind of fooled at this point. And let's see how they react. And I would say in this case, you know, as the heroes are there, nobody has high threat, nobody has anything aside from the fact that they just sprung a trap, and there's 8 grubbers right in their passageway, and they will cause automatically the AP will react at this point, and the darkness will smother them as it tries to get in Cyrddin's way. So we're gonna say that the AP will go back to 0, as automatically it gets them to react, and we're going to pull the darkness card just to see what happens at this point. So let's see the darkness event. If no hero is within 2 squares of another, spawn 4 minions and 1 captain from all active layers immediately. Well, phew, we're good on that one. The next thing, it says threat penalty. There's no threat penalty, so you skip it. Activation is minions, and there's only minions, so skip that. An aggressive spawn, there is no spawn because there is no lair. So right now, pretty much, we're just gonna let it go, and we're gonna see how the heroes react as they get to first action on the hero. So at this point, it's still the hero cycle, and let's see what the heroes will do, and especially what the grubbers will do. So they move first, so as there's nobody really in threat, they're just gonna move for every possibility to do any damage. And right now, amazingly so, it's Lily and Trish. As you can see, Trish right here, and right here at the edge. And let me move the camera a bit so that you could see better. And there you go. So this is right here, you cannot see, and there is Lily, and right here is Trish. So let's first deactivate a little bit the camera right there, so you could see what is going to happen. Let's not forget what the grabbers can do. So now that you can see where is everything happening, let's activate it back again, and let's see what the grubbers are all about. Let's not forget, they have, so they strike 1 die 10, they do 1 damage within 1 range, they need 7 or greater, you know, to pretty much do anything. But also, let's see what the heroes can do in a sense, because don't forget, the allies could help. And they're going to focus mostly on the 2 girls there, or the 2 women, powerful women, that have been aiding the group up to now. But let's see what the heroes themselves have to counter this damage that's about to occur. So nobody's able to react. Nobody is able to do anything. But amazingly so, Trish, before anything that can occur, and Trish is right here, you know, if you don't know, she's right here at this corner, surrounded by these 3 grubbers who want to attack her, but she unleashes something before anybody can do anything, and that's the arcane maelstrom. And that is, don't forget, as you can see, it's an interrupt right here, and it will cause the AP to go up by 2. But what it does is, more importantly, is each enemy within range must pass a courage test, or they cannot activate this darkness cycle. Each arcane card in play increases their courage target number, and there is no other arcane card. So more important in play especially, and she did not move because she just got there, and pretty much she walked into a trap. But the AP will go up by 2, but and the enemies do get to react, but they might not be able to activate. Each enemy within range must pass courage. They cannot activate this darkness. So in this sense, I would say, so there's going to be a small retraction or correction here. So let's put them all back. The grubbers are all confused. It's like some superpower just pushed them back. And we have this. So they pretty much will increase the AP by 2. And now each one to activate within range of 3. And she's right here. So this 2 right here, this 2 right here, and this 2 right here, you know, of pretty much. So all this 6 will need to pass courage test. So I'm going to roll for them. Okay, pretty much. Let's see if they activate or not. Now, for them, for the courage test, let's not forget, because they're all the same type, you only roll 1 die. And that's all you need to pretty much. So she played this, and this is just an interrupt. The courage test is 7 or greater I need to roll. Okay. If you don't see, probably right there. If you see on the bottom right, it's a 7. So you need a 7 or greater, or else they're not activating. And it's a 6. So for those 6, if you could see, those 6 pretty much will not activate, and they will be stuck. But those 2 right there will pretty much be able to activate, and this one will just run in right here, and he will try, you know, pretty much. But don't forget, this one will not get to attack and activate, but this 2 will be able to activate at this current turn, and they're going to attack Lily, all right? And they're going to get to do their attack, and let's see what happens. 4, and nothing happens. Lily is able to dodge them. She's moving around and hitting them with her, well, warped spoon. If you forgot, she has warped spoons pretty much as her current, you know, bardic or Skald equipment. So now that we did that, now the heroes get to unleash their wrath, and let's see what they're going to do one by one. Let's not forget also that each hero has a major vitality potion that they have obtained from Act 2, completing Act 2, and it plays a big role in difference, because whatever is to come, they have an opportunity to survive it. It gives them one-time use of 6 vitality. All right, so once you, and they have other potions that they have obtained, they have equipment, and more importantly, they have money, which they have not found the purpose of how to spend it, and hopefully they're able to hold it on to it. But from prior experiences, things do occur when they try to spring into action. Lily will keep it simple, and all she wishes is just to keep the darkness at bay. So she will use this, and pretty much she could use it at any time, and she will kind of abate the darkness and lower it by 1. So it will go from the 2 that it was to 1. And let's see what the others will do. After seeing what happens, Arthur goes into rage, and riding the edge, he pretty much does the 1 damage, attack -3, and using also his shield, okay, attack all targets in 3 square straight orthogonal line. You may dash 1 additional square for each rage card played, and cannot move again the hero cycle. So this is going to be an action, and it's going to be 2 darkness, and pretty much because he's going to go on a wild move, as you could see here, he could dash 1 more, and he's going to do that. So his ordinary move is 2 spaces. Instead, he's going to move 3, you know, or more, and he's going to pretty much have 1 die 10 added bonus. So he's going to do that out of madness. But for him to do an extra dash, what he's going to do to land somewhere else, he's going to burn a card from the top of his deck to create the rage, okay, that he needs, even though he has by default 1 rage, okay. So it's believed, based on his icon on no, he does not actually. Sorry, it's a little thing. Amnok tries to alert him and let him know that he ain't got that raging bull in him. So not yet, at least. Arthur goes, he springs straight, and he pushes straight out, and he comes and lands here because he took extra rage. So he pushes this 2 out pretty much, and he slays them, creates a threat of 2. All right, so he dashed through and he killed them, and now he cannot move again this hero cycle, so he lands right there, and he turns around just to get the attention of the other grubbers around, because he's the most threatening of them all. So well done in that sense. And he does 1 damage. There's no reason to roll, because pretty much it's the 1 damage he could do. And if there was an opponent here that was greater than 1 damage itself, it would have caused him to stop in his tracks. But in this case, there wasn't. He added the rage so he can plow through, and that is something amazing on its own. But now, because of seeing what he saw, well, pretty much Lance takes into action. And Lance, what he does is, the first thing, he's going to prepare this ammo to be ready on the next turn. And then he's going to unleash with the 2 arrows that he has ammo readied already, because thanks to his, skills, or should I say more equipment, the mysterious heirloom carryall and extra ammo equipment, he is able to unleash now the Orion Tears, and he does 2. He will do 2 opponents, he will do damage 2. All right, so more importantly, here, I believe I was supposed to roll for Arthur, so let's see if Arthur would have done the damage, and Arthur would have rolled 2 die 10, okay, and plus 1 fate die. And it's 5, and a 5 for grubbers, 5 or greater, is pretty much good enough, and he would have been able to do what he did in the previous turn. So now let's focus on this, which is what Lance will do and unleash with his sticky twine bow, which is a range of 4, and that's all he needs. For each ready ammo card, you may attack 1 target within range, and this also will cost 2 AP, and it's an action. It's the only action he can do, and he has only 2 that he's able to do, and he's going to do 2 damage. But let's see. So he also, because he's not moving, he will have 2 fate die that he could pretty much use. And at this point, it might seem like has no purpose, and it's pretty much should be correct to say that, but in the future, based on equipment you get, fate die will play a role, and in this case it will lower his threat, and that's why it's good, if you wonder. So this is 2, and then he gets 2 dice to roll against the opponents, and the reason why it's 2 is 1 attack from his bow, another one because of his skillful veterancy in archer, and 2 die of fate, because 1 by default he obtains, but 1 extra he gets, from, actually he gets 2 from Orion's Tears, because of the fact that he's not moving. He's not in the plan. So he's going to unleash this, and by the way, no one can block his line of sight in this case, and he's going to take out these 2 opponents right here. All right, so if you see them right here, these 2, he's going to aim for them, and let's see what happens. Oh, okay. He misses. So he misses in this, and that kind of, suck. Or he feels down about it, but that's okay. That can happen. And let's see if he can do anything else. And in this case, there's not much he could do. So at this point, he will see and turn around and look at the others, and he notices that no one is pretty much ready to So now the AP is at 5. The heroes will pretty much go to the deck phase, and let's see what happens from here on. And I think Amnok will just move forward 1 and 2 right here, and she's getting angry. Let me through. And she's like, what are we to do? And she can't move because don't forget she did that interruption, so she's kind of stuck there. And so the heroes kind of did their turn. So let's see what happens in this deck cycle as they clear and lower the threat, as now Arthur becomes threatless. Now that the deck phase is complete, now the heroes go to the refresh cycle, and the refresh starts first with the most important thing is the darkness meter. And based the darkness meter, it comes to basically based on the fact of how many type of opponents. There's only one type. And because of that, the darkness will go up to 6. And from 6, pretty much will drop down to 0. And they will activate before anything else takes effect. So now that they activate, let's see if the allies have anything in a sense to pretty much hinder their activation. The allies can't look. Arthur says, stand your ground. And Amnok tries his best. And right now, all the grubbers will move to who they feel is most threatening. And he turns to Arthur. And he turns to Arthur. And 1, 2, 3. And they all want a piece of Arthur. He will stay here, try to beat down Lily. And he will pretty much move here to give him... No. So he will push back and he will come back. And he moved here. So he could stay here and he will just turn around and try to take on Arthur. So at this point... This one is going for Lily, this one is going for Trish, and this all are going after Arthur. So let's resolve first Arthur. And right now there is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 4 different foes, so 4 dices you roll. And there is 1, only 1. Well, pretty much only 1 damage is successfully hit on Arthur. And pretty much Arthur will take 1 damage from 7. You know, he will become 6 vitality. And okay. And then basically from there, he will do something which is pretty much the blade dance. It's an interrupt, and pretty much what it does is, let me show you. It says it's going to cost 1 AP, so it's going to go from 0 to 1, and pretty much counterattack, melee. Attacks targeting you gain +2 target number. Okay, so, so then nobody hit him. So it goes pretty much, it remains at 7, sorry for that. And after resolving an enemy attack targeting you, attack 1 target within range for each rage card played. Okay. Well, there was no each rage card played. So, so you could play pretty much rage cards easily by taking it from the top of your deck and kind of burning them. So after resolving this attack targeting you, attack 1 target within range for each rage card played. So you can do multitude. So the way I understand it is, if you look at it, and this can be confusing, targeting you. Okay, so after resolving an attack, you attack 1 target within range for each rage card played. So I'm gonna burn 3 spots on my thing. So that means on a hero cycle, there's gonna be less space of me what I could do. I'm gonna burn 3 rage, and actually, you know what? So he cannot do anything on the upcoming hero cycle. I'm going to burn 4. Okay? And it's worth it. I'm going to burn 4 rage cards. And that's going to, I'm going to attack all 4. And I'm going to use my weapon now, the Heraldern Blade. And plus my experienced soldier veterancy. And let's see if there's anything else. Actions are reduced by 1 AP. This is not an action, so we cannot get benefit of that. And we get 1 fate die, and not that it's going to serve any purpose, but we got this 3 dices. Let's see if we hit all foes. 9, 8, 1. That's sufficient. It's well done. I was able to hit all targets, and they are all decimated. What a mistake. What a mistake, buddy. But because I did that, first there's going to be a treasure dropped. 1 of the 2 that could possibly drop. Okay. On top of that, there is also the threat, because obliterate 4. There's 4 threat right there, right in one strike. And that pretty much... Ooh, I was not going to be able to do that because if I play this card, only 3 opponents were able to be obliterated. But that still allows me to have 1 treasure in a sense, because I destroyed 3 in one shot. So I'm going to remove 1 rage card, which is the last rage card, and I'm going to do it. I know it's confusing, but the thing is, basically, we had 4 opponents. Because he was able to strike 3 of them in one spot, he was able to drop 1 treasure, because you need at least to strike 3 foes in one action, and you will get pretty much that. And that's what happened. He did it in 1 action. So, but this grubber survived somehow because don't forget, he has only 4 possible actions. He has 4 possible actions that he could do during any time during his cycle or any cycle. He used 3 rage to pretty much enable it to do what he did, and hence why this thematically happened. Alright, so sorry for the little bit of confusion, but that happened. But now that that kind of resolved itself, let's see how those fare, as the grubber will pretty much, that grubber, 1 grubber is going to go after Lily, and let's see if he does any damage, and yes he does. He damages Lily by 1. She goes from her 6 to 5. And let's see if the other grubber is able to harm Trish. And that's a 0. And that's... He smacked down on her. So she goes from 6 also. She goes down to 5. And that kind of ends the darkness cycle, or should I say more, the enemy cycle at this point, as they managed to do what they did. Alright. Also, I was supposed to take 1 event card because they reacted, and I didn't. An event. Previous damage done to the lair spawns equal number of minions immediately. Okay, so there's nothing there. Threat. Heroes are limited to 3 times. Oh no. Okay, minions. Okay, a C minion card. Heavy spawn. Okay, well, there's no heavy spawn, so because there's no lair to spawn. So nothing, in a sense, was a mistake there. I'm kind of not doing it in kind of order, which is kind of almost fine, because didn't mess up anything, but I'll try to be more consistent on the next thing. So now because of that happened and all that turnaround, the ally take action, and she can't wait to let her rage go. So she's gonna first come take care of what happens to Lily. And don't forget, let's see Cyrddin again. Cyrddin is not bad. She has 7 vitality, okay, and pretty much takes +1 to strike her. So that means, let's say you take usually a 7, you require, the grubbers require 7, instead they're going to require 8 or greater to strike her. And she has 2 courage, so meaning it's easy for her to, to fight off any fear. And she has 3 movements. So let's see, she rolls 4 die, okay, 4 die 10, and 1 fate die, and pretty much at this point she's able to really cause some damage. Don't forget, she has something, in a sense, a special, a 5 fate die, right? So she can do that also. So let's see in this attack. So I think this special only occurs when she is not in the current status, meaning that if one looks here, Battle Lust, this attack may hit up to a total of 4 enemies. Increase the target number to hit each target by 1 for each target after the first. Okay, so let's see. So I don't think she gets 5 fate die. This is only if she has nothing to do, then she would be able to use this. But if she's just attacking, she has only 1 fate die. So let's see what happens. And she rolls 4 fate die. I mean, 4 die 10 and 1 fate die. So let's see. Well, she does manage to kill it easily. And in a sense, for this, she doesn't do anything. And let's see what happens again with Battle Lust. But she does have this opponent. If you look, he is kind of within her reach. So Battle Lust says this attack may hit up to a total of 4 enemies. increase the target number to hit each target by 1 for each target after the first. Okay, so she rolled the 4 fate die. She was able to hit 1. Their target number is 5, the grubbers, and 5 to 6. So she would be able to pretty much, in a range of range 1, slay this one and this one. Alright? And that's amazingly so, explaining you that her ability is skilled. She does damage 1. And again, this, so little mistake. So she did slay them, but she does roll the 5 fate die, which is a mistake. That's her special skill, and pretty much let's give that to her. Cyrddin will unleash the fury. So let's see if she's able to, and in this case it does not, because she doesn't have one rage symbol in this roll, but she does use that, and I'm sorry for that. So instead of moving forward and making that mistake, but either way, she did something of an amazing feat, and now there's only one foe left. And right after that, usually after the allies, is the quest results, and then status, and then trap, and then there's the cleanup, and there's nothing pretty much to do after that. It's now the heroes, and the heroes get to do their action, and let's see what they're going to do. Don't forget the AP as at 1. So the heroes finally make it to the final tile, and where their freedom is so close, and every tile they met, the same surprise of a hunting pack of 8 grubbers. But this time, as they walk onto this tile, they get pretty much a surprise that they did not expect, as some are very wounded. Lance only has 4 vitality of his 6, and then Amnok has his full vitality, so does Arthur, but then against Lily is the Skald is most threatened with 3 vitality left. And let's not forget also Trish has her full vitality, and at this point everybody still holds onto their major vitality, because together as allies they were able to pretty much stand their ground. And let's not forget that even Cyrddin has her full vitality, as thanks to recent events where the Acolyte, known as Amnok, has healed her from her last pretty much tile where, or the last round where she took much of damage from the grubbers. But then again, they still stand afoot. We're in the last tile, and let's see how they handle this, because even though a hunting pack is supposed to appear, out this goes on the side, and in appears, to their surprise, 2 captains, Muckers, surprising them and pretty much saying they cannot pass so easily and escape this. Oh, here comes a third. Master won't like them escaping. So all these 3 Muckers will get to react and act first, and most importantly, let's see who has the most threat. And right now the one with the most threat is Arthur, and surprisingly so, nobody else carries a threat. Oh, actually no, Lily has 1, but everybody else has no threat. So let's see how they respond, because let's not forget, the Muckers are nothing but a surprise. So yes, they're supposed to, based on Sir request, 8 grubbers of hunting pack to appear, but I feel that it would be more important to kind of create this doom by having them, the Muckers, appear. And because, well, the AP is at 1, surprisingly so, due to the last events, but they get the element of surprise, as they kind of surprised the heroes in this event. And let's not forget, the Muckers have 3 vitality. They're not an easy push, and also they have 7. You have to hit it, strike them, you need 7 or greater, so that's very, very important. And if they successfully on a fate die roll this, they will make you prone. And don't forget, they roll 2 dice, and they need to roll 5 or greater. Now, also more importantly, if you see here, I don't know if you can see that well, right here, if you see this, so what it means is the number of attacks. It does 2 attacks against 1 target. So that's very, very damaging, as it does 1 damage, and more importantly, its range is always melee, so it's close by. Its courage factor is 6 or greater, and it moves 3, so it has no problem in reaching and doing what it needs to do. So let's see who are their targets, and more important, let's see if the heroes can do anything before anything the Muckers do. So the Muckers move in on the heroes. The first one to walk in is 1, 2, and then he will move right here 1, and he will move 1, 2, and they have no choice but to confront 3 different foes. Or 3 different adversaries at this point, as the allies are pretty much in position right here. They got just to arrive to the tile, which are surprised. So this is going to be where they take a bruising, and hopefully they don't get prone. So the first one is pretty much going to, he will try to attack Arthur, because Arthur actually does have a threat, and he will try to take out Arthur. But as he tries to take Arthur, before Arthur does anything, before the Mucker does anything to Arthur, Arthur will use this, okay, because he didn't move yet, and he'll ignore 1 enemy attack targeting you. So pretty much anything this guy will do, is this Mucker will do, is pretty much avoided, and that's will be 1 action space within his 4 spaces. So the thing is, this Mucker is pretty much avoided. Now this Mucker on the other hand is going to pretty much attack, and one question you may have is there a darkness card? So there was a darkness that's supposed to occur, but not that it would change anything. So here, if there's this event says that if there are more than 6 minions, spawn a captain. Well, I think there's 3 captains there, and there's no minions, so this doesn't matter. There's no threat, and pretty much everything else, it doesn't matter. So at this point, hence why I did not even bother, because this is most threatening they can be, and this one will attack Cyrddin. Alright, and Cyrddin doesn't have anything that she can do to stop this attack, but just to remember, Cyrddin pretty much is a +1 to strike her, so you will need to roll 6 in this case instead of the 5 that's here. So okay, and she doesn't have anything to counter this or anything like that, and she has a threat of 5, by the way, so she's always threatening. So in theory, those Muckers should have gone after her, but there's not enough space, so either ways this one is going to go after her. He rolls, based on this, 2 dice and 1 fate die. So let's see what he does. So a 1 and a 4, and this, nothing hits, nothing strikes Cyrddin, and that Mucker pretty much fails to do anything. Now this Mucker, bashu, and he wants to go really hit hard on Trish, and I don't know if you can see Trish so well, but let me move this a bit so you can see what's going to occur on that end. So let's move this a little bit here so everybody can see very well, and that's pretty much it. So you can see this Mucker trying to get onto Trish. It sounds so wrong. So let's see. Oh, 8, 8. So pretty much that's pretty much a success. That was an 8, 8, and luckily it's not gonna make see this is not the same as this symbol, so she will not be in prone because of that, but she will take damage because pretty much this is 2 attacks for 1, so she will take 2 damage in this case, and she will go down from her 6 to 4. So ooh, that hurt. All right, so now this is where the hero cycle begins, And let's see what the heroes will do on their turn. But right now they kind of were able to dodge something very risky, but they gotta handle these villains and the captains very quick, or else Cyrddin might find herself buried beneath this prison or lair or dungeon. So let's see what the heroes will do first. But before anything, Lily feels a praise is coming. Okay, Lily's really gonna let it loose. So the first thing she's going to do is she was upon them. So this could occur at any time. As you could see, she could move or not move, and increase the range of each of your verses by 2 squares, and you gain 2 threat. Not that she cares, and this is a reaction. So she'll increase her threat to 2. Now, the next thing she'll do is, she has to decide if she wants to play a positive or a neutral praise, because at this point, don't forget the Muckers have a courage of 6, and pretty much what she could do is she'll play this, in doubt, and that is each enemy within range must pass a courage test in order to activate. So each enemy, so that means even the captains. So she's gonna play that, and she will leave it at that. But before she does that, not that it's much needed, but she'll just, she can't do that because it's a positive verse. Let's not forget, positive and negatives cannot mix. So that ends her thing, but she pretty much puts it in a very, very strong phase. And don't forget, her verses has reached now, because that's the first thing she enforced. What I mean by that is, if you look, this increased all her verses range by 2 squares, and this, which puts all the Muckers in doubt, range of 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. So this means from here she'll easily reach this Mucker right here, right beside Trish. Alright, so hence what I was trying to inform what Lily just did, which was amazing. So Arthur, without delay, the first thing he's going to do is going to use an action and cost 2 AP, and he's going to do a massive attack on one target within range. Okay, as he's not going to move, he's going to lower the target number, and the target number for the Mucker is a 7. Instead, it's going to be a 6 at this case, because he lowered it by the fact that he didn't move. So let's see what he's going to do. First thing is increase the AP, and it's now a 3. And the next thing that he's going to do is, don't forget, this is going to use his second action slot. So he's going to get 2. And also actions are reduced by 1 AP thanks to this item. It reduces the AP cost by 1, all actions. So instead of it going up to 3, it will go up to 2. Alright, and he's going to use 1 fate die. And right now that's the only dice in effect that he can roll. And he has an 8 right here, which is well sufficient. He needed 6 or greater. Don't forget, he lowered the target number of the Mucker. So right now it's pretty much a hit, and that Mucker is, he's dead. And it's a very serious slaying. And a treasure does drop right here. And now let me say something about the treasures, by the way. They're kind of almost pointless, even though there are only 2 treasures you can possibly get, because we loiter too much. And out of the 4 possible treasures on this tile, you can only get 2 because we loiter too much. But the thing is, it's kind of almost pointless, the treasures, because I'll explain again in the end why. But more important, just to right now, it's not the most important thing. So Arthur did that. He pretty much took it out. Let's see if the others can pretty much do anything, as the ground shakes, as you could see. And let's see if Lance can do anything. So he's going to pretty much, let's move dices away a bit. He's going to, the vision of the mark. So he's just going to do any attack. He's going to increase the dice and also +1 damage. And that's just a reaction. So let's see what he's going to do. Let me move the dice away. And because he did that, he's also going to do then, he's going to try. Okay, so he's also going to do this. So attack one target within range. If using ammo and targeting an armored enemy, this attack gains -2 target number. Muckers are armored, so pretty much it becomes much easier to hit them. And also, because he's not going to move, he's going to get 2 die 10. So it's going to even facilitate that. So there's the 1 damage from here and the 1 damage from the other just skill that he just used is going to be rolling. So let's see. It's like almost reassuring. There's 3 dice right here. He's going to obtain 2 fate dice. And so let me explain this, why he got these dices. So he obtains 2 dices from the through a needle's eye. And let me show you that right there. It says right there. I don't know if you could see it so well, but it's right there. So he gets that. Then because he's an archer, and he gets, then also don't forget, he also gets 1 extra die and 1 fate die from this. So hence why he has all these dices. And he also lowered the target number, and pretty much this was enough to pretty much strike. So he does to this mucker right here. That's what's his target. He's going to do to this. Actually, you know what he's going to do to this mucker? He aimed at him. You're wrong. And he strike this mucker for 2 damage. So this mucker has pretty much 1 vitality left. So it was a good strike. And because he didn't obtain any of his fate die sign, he will have 2 threat. And let's not forget that Arthur has pretty much 5 threat because of the fact that he did the 3 damage to the mucker there in his sling. Now, aside from that, let's see what else Lance can do, or else it's going to be someone else as Trish looking about. So Trish will cost of 1 AP, will do an arcane attack and try to pretty much damage the mucker for 1 more damage and slay it. So she will get from her Herlim, the mark of the apprentice. She obtains 1 die 10 and 1 fate die. Alright, so she will take that, and because she's also an experienced apprentice, she'll get 1 extra die. And because of her weapon, she will also get 1 extra. So in the end, she rolls 3 of this, and let's see what she does. And that's her action. And it is well sufficient with 8 and a 7 and a 0 right here. But she doesn't get anything in a fate die symbol, so she will get 1 threat because of this. And at this point, the AP will be at 4. But she slays that foe amazingly so. And the last of the treasure drops right here. Not that she cares much for it. And if that was done, don't forget she has ongoing spells and abilities, and Arthur could have used 1 extra die because he had the hero's edge. All right. And aside from that, she has the sphere deflection, which is, if forgotten, each enemy range attack targeting a hero within range has a target number increased by 2. Luckily, muckers are in range, they're melee, so this is ineffective toward them, this shield at least, that she has going. So now let's see, as they all did, let's see if Amnok could put a finishing touch before anything occurs by them. Well, the heroes will go into their deck phase because to renew their skills as they feel they've done what they could do at this point. And now the refresh phase comes, and pretty much those that took much threat have already lowered their threat. And more importantly, now let's see how, well, pretty much how the mucker will react, because at the refresh phase first is the darkness, and pretty much let's see what the darkness is about. If there are two captains of the same monster type, convert one into a mini boss. Whew. Did we clear that in time? We dodged a big one there. If there are two captains of the same monster type, convert one into the mini boss. So we pretty much dodged that one. Threat penalty, all move cards. Okay, well, pretty much there's no threat. The minions captain, aggressive. After normal spawn, the spawned monsters receive one activation. Well, nothing in that threatening. But we just dodged a big serious one. That's a baddie. And now pretty much he will react, and he will act to the biggest threat, which is Cyrddin, and he will attack Cyrddin again. He will roll his 2 dices, let's not forget, and it's pretty much he gets 2 attacks. So this is, sorry, it rolled off. So that's a 7 and 9, and Cyrddin's, well, pretty much the Mucker needs to roll 6 or greater, and in this case he did. In both cases, the Cyrddin will take 2 damage because of the 2 attacks. So Cyrddin has 2 damage on her, and that ends there for the Mucker. So now the allies activate, and then Cyrddin will activate right now. So Cyrddin, what she will do is, well, she rolls 4 dices. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's see. And this is one time. We'll see what Battle Lust does, because so pretty much for sure she does a hit because she rolled a 0 right there, and she does 1 damage. Okay, but let's see what Battle Lust does. It does, this attack may hit up to a total of 4 enemies, increase the target. Okay, no, well, that's useless. Okay, so she pretty much does 1 damage to that Mucker, so that Mucker goes from 3 to 2. Alright, that's what we do know. And she also gets 5 fate die. And she gets this special opportunity to do this special ability, which we're going to probably have to check what it is. But let's see. Let's see her roll 5 fate die, and let's see if she gets lucky on that. Things are still trembling. Okay. Goes off the board. We have 1 rage. And we can only choose one of the skills, because we can only use, if we roll 2 rages then we could use it, but we only rolled once, and we could use this one, Massacre. Let's see what Massacre does. Massacre sounds great. And Massacre placed the figure in a square occupied by a minion up to 3 squares away. Well, we don't want any minions, so then let's see what Primal Roar is. Each enemy on this realm tile has their attack target number increased by 2 during the next darkness cycle. Well, I'll choose that one. So it's a Primal Roar. It's just going to be tougher for the Mucker. Well done, Cyrddin. And let's see how we move forward for the heroes, because now the hero cycle will pretty much begin. Lily is the first to go, and she praises everybody once more. A range of 2, so anybody within 2 range of her, each hero within range may reroll all failed dice once during each action. Okay, so she could do this while she moves, and she's going to do that as a reaction. And then what she's going to do, she's going to darely step out 1 and 2, and she's going to come right here. So she pretty much puts that Mucker in jeopardy, who has only 2 vitality, by the way. And let's see what happens from here. So now, first and foremost, let's see if Arthur can do anything. For now, he won't do anything much other than a battle roar, and what that does is each hero within range gains -1 target to hit with the attack action. So that's very, very good. It aids in any attack that any hero or ally might do. Before anything can occur, Lance guides and turns and doesn't wait for anybody as others perceive to take action. He of Charon's payment pretty much unleashes a, which is gives him 3 fate die, which I don't know what that would do, but some weapons do use fate die and enhance the attacks. But this one is a massive lance attack and it damages 3 ranged weapon, and it's a critical pretty much. Attack 1 target within range, does 2 AP, and this 2 AP will bring the darkness, but I don't think anybody will survive this darkness to be able to take any action, and this is the only action he can pretty much do, and he will do that. And what he rolls is pretty much, because this only gives fate dice, so he will only be able to roll 1 die for his weapon and 1 for his skilled archery. And let's see, and he's going to use the one, he has several ammo that he could use, so it's not an issue. And at this point, I think he fails, because he tried to do this massive attack and he fails. He rolled a 6 and a 2, and the Mucker, if not forgotten, unless something, wait a minute, hold on. Each hero within range gains -1 target to hit. So that becomes, he actually did hit, because 7 becomes a 6. Don't forget the battle roar that Arthur did, alright, which was very, very powerful. And don't forget also, more importantly, that Lily has praised everybody. Each hero within range may reroll all failed dice once during each action, and he doesn't want to roll, because this is 7 becomes a 6, and if that's the case, then this Mucker is dead. And the heroes have found their freedom. Cyrddin turns in much effort and gratefulness to her newfound friends and allies and praises them. Let me remove this treasure. And this was a valiant fight against 3 captains, and they managed to survive. It only shows how strength comes with numbers, and they're very, very good synergy of a group, with Arthur the skilled soldier, Lance the skilled archer, and Amnok the skilled acolyte, to keep them all in praise and alive, and Trish with her apprentice skills, and Lily the Skald. Cyrddin praises them all for all they have. Because of this greatness, Lance, not anyone else, but only Lance, will obtain. Let me push this aside for what has been cleared. But Lance will obtain this title. And if you could see that, it pretty much says the Ranger of Iron and Sadness. Archer only. The archer has +1 hand size. So that what means is, from here on, instead of having in the hero cycle 5 cards in hand, he will have 6. And that is something formidable for him. For all other allies and all other heroes, they will be able to learn a new skill. So let's see what skills they learn. But before that, Cyrddin wants to part ways. So in reality, usually when you have a title, you're able to keep 1 equipment that you have obtained in this journey. And in this journey, Lance will keep this one, because only it enhances his heirloom, the mysterious carryall. And with this one, 2 ammo, it pretty much says ready 1 ammo card from the discard each hero cycle. So that means he will never have an issue of having an ammo, or should I say an arrow, to launch with his amazing stick and twine. Alright, so that title has raised up. So each title you obtain in the future from any endeavors will allow you to carry more and more items. It's the system of leveling, and hence this is only Lance has been able to do it. Now, the heroes have leveled in a different way, for his allies have managed to learn new skills, and let's see what new skills they have chosen to learn. But when you do that, you're limited in what amount of cards you can have in your deck or a skill set. So if they do upgrade a skill, they have to remove a card from their deck that they find inessential, because as they grow in strength, those old cards become useless and new cards become replaced and make them only stronger as they go journey further into the world of myth. So Lily is the first, and as she's slowly about to step out from this prison dungeon, she learns the terrible of the dawn, and what it does is damage 1, range 1, and deal 1 damage to a number of adjacent targets based on your movement and within range. Range cannot be increased. It's an action of 2 actions, and she can target up to 5 doing damage. That is something very, very powerful. But at the same time, she will remove this from her library of skills. For this, we're heroes. It's the tile. It affects the tile. Each time a hero within range picks up a treasure, he may draw 2 treasures tokens and choose one to resolve. I'd rather remove that, as it is not in any sense helpful for what's to come, I feel, in the journey. Arthur being next, he feels the battle joy, and pretty much each enemy within range must pass a courage test in order to activate. For each rage card played, increase the target number by 1, and range is based on your movement. So this is pretty much powerful, and he will remove the drawing of the ire. So pretty much this will add to him, and the other will be removed as we move on. Amnok, the Acolyte, will add the Dirge of the Twilight, something to give him a massive and fearsome attack. So attack 1 target within range. If the target hit is a captain, the target is prone. Alright, he will remove a sprint. So he doesn't need to run much, but he does need to get more into the melee, into the fray, and protect his allies. Lance feels dangerous, and he will pincushion. And this is great. If he does not move, pretty much he could dodge. And he dodges well. Choose a minion, very important, adjacent to you. All enemy attacks targeting you during the darkness cycle affect the chosen minion. Instead, after resolving all attacks, the minion suffers damage dealt. This is pretty cool. That's an awesome ability and upgrade. Oh, my mistake. He does not get one, sadly so. That's a mistake on my part. If you remember, he has earned a title and he has not earned a skill. Alright, so that's a mistake on my part. So let's see, as moving forward, what Trish got. Trish will add Fingers of Aya, another one, to her learned skill pile. And what that does is pretty much, depending if she doesn't move, she will have lessened the target number. Attack 1 target within range. For each ongoing card cleared, this attack affects 1 additional target to 2 squares away from the last affected target. This is an action that costs 1 AP. She will remove a sprint. So she doesn't feel like she needs to run much. So her removing that, and this pretty much will be added to her skill pile, and that ends their journey in prison, but more importantly begins their next journey as they venture forth in their freedom out in the world of myth, and they decided together as allies to seek out their next adventure, for they all have something burning in their heart, and we shall find out what that is soon. Thank you for watching, and I hope you stick around for their next chapter in the world of myth. The door to the keep, barely a grate in the ground of a dry river bed, takes you out into the freedom of the open world. The fresh air blows over your face. It is clean compared to the stale air of the prison. You look around. On the ground not far from the entrance is a wooden box. You kneel in front of the box. Your blood-caked hands reach out and open the hinged lid. Inside is a red desert rock. Cyrddin, in awe, explains, "Someone knew we were going to escape there. This rock only comes from one place in the Ark. It is a place I have never been. It is from the deep desert. It is said that the red rock, the Aki, is without water's touch. It is formed in blood. Its presence is a mystery to me, but..." Her pause is not long. "Come find me at the trading city, on the edge of what you call the fields of light. Find a merchant by the name of Loanti. Tell her your names. She will do the rest." Scooping down, Cyrddin picks up the red rock and is off. She doesn't look back.